Okay, here we are. I am standing at the lobby of Hotel Vista Hermosa or HVH in downtown Guadalajara. This is a very affordable hotel, which is where I stayed over the weekend. Well, it was Friday to Saturday. It is approximately 7:30, 7:40 in the evening, and it's going to take me 15 minutes to walk to Teatro Degollado, and I want to bring you along for the walk. And it all starts with me clicking on this. There you go. Again, this is a very centric hotel. I've stayed here two times now, and it's very affordable. It shows up with very affordable prices on Expedia.com. And we are going to walk down Avenida Juárez. Now, this is Guadalajara's equivalent. I stopped for a second to adjust my lighting. There you go. This is Guadalajara's equivalent of Francisco Medina Asensio. In fact, if you were to drive in the opposite direction than I'm walking down this avenue, you would end up in Puerto Vallarta. But as you can see, it's almost becoming nighttime. There's a Soriana there. I frequently go into that supermarket to get essentials if I need them. But the beautiful thing that I want to impress about this walk, well, there's a couple. Number one, it is really, really safe to walk down a wide avenue like this. Number two, it's full of life. There's all kinds of people walking around. And let's remember, this is the same avenue that on weekends, on Sundays, it is close to vehicular traffic. So you see a lot of people jogging and riding bicycles, roller skating, and whatnot. And there was a lot of tagging around the city, and I know that a lot of the tagging that you see in businesses had to do with the recent Women's March. I remember when it happened that there was a lot of commentary on social media that the women got a little crazy with their tagging around the city, and the city has yet to clean it up. Coming up on the left side is the old Telmex building, and you'll see the sculpture of the man pushing the building. Let us remember that back in the 40s or 50s, this street was a lot narrower, and this was the telephone company building, which had to be moved some 15 feet, and it was moved without stopping telephone service in the city, which was really, really amazing. Oh, and it was drizzling. It was drizzling a little bit. I was just slightly concerned about the well-being of my camera, but it was not so bad. It was actually quite refreshing. It was not quite chilly, but it was very comfortable. Of course, I was wearing long pants. Going to the symphony at night calls for long pants, unless you want to stick out like a sore thumb. And let's see. Thanks for the Guadalajara walk, says Barbara. Great seeing your path. Well, this is an easy one. Again, I am, just for reference, and some of the stuff you're going to see on the other walk that we're going to do in Guadalajara. This is just a few blocks away from the stores where I shop for my crafting, and the stores where I shop for just all the things that I shop for in Guadalajara. Let's see comments that I see. Laura comments, this is nice and seems like lots going on and close to shops and nice walk. Yes. Now, will you find the malls or the shopping centers in this part of town? No. You find smaller shops, which if you ask me and you're looking for affordable stuff, this is the way to go and this is the place to shop. Like my favorite brand of shoes, Flexi, is coming up on the left-hand side. Um, there are bookstores. Angelica asks, is that Hidalgo Avenue? No, this is Juarez. Hidalgo Avenue is 3 blocks to the left. And yes, Harold is correct. The Telmex building was put on train rails to move it away from the street right of way when this avenue was expanded. I love the fact that there are benches for you to sit and look at all the trees. There's always trees in these avenues, which I think is super awesome. Coming up on the left is Plaza Universidad or University Plaza. It is called this because there's a number of education centers around here, but we are 1 block away from the intersection, the main intersection. This is just a quick view of. There's Telas Parisina right behind it. I made a stop there. Anyhow, this is Plaza Universidad. We're 1 block away from Avenida 16 de Septiembre, September the 16th Avenue, which I remember. You'll see it after we walk through this building. I remember it when it was still open for vehicular traffic, and it was like a crazy 6 or 7 lane wide. And it took the city of Guadalajara a number of years to make all the traffic go underground. And now it is an amazing pedestrian street. And it's coming up right at the corner of this building. And here it is. Now, the wonderful thing about walking in this area is there's always something going on. Whenever there are big celebrations, this is where the city puts things. On the weekends, there's volleyball tournaments going on here. And of course, there is Guadalajara's Cathedral in the background. We're actually going to go in a second. I crashed a wedding without knowing that I was crashing a wedding. Let me see. Let me look at your comments. Jerome says, what is the name of the hotel you stayed at? Please. It was the HVH Hotel. There's a one hotel on the left-hand side, by the way. That's another popular stay for people going to Guadalajara. It's very conveniently located. It's a little bit more expensive, so I don't know that I necessarily would stay there. And of course, we also just walked past the building that I was walking through the arches. The DoubleTree Hotel is upstairs. I stayed there once. And even if you don't stay there, because it's expensive, there's a beautiful restaurant at the top where you can see this entire plaza. Pum pum. To the right, although you cannot quite see it here, is the government palace. And as we approach the cathedral, this is now called Paseo Alcalde. This is a pedestrian-only walkway that goes for blocks and blocks and blocks. Let me jump over to your comments very quickly. Yes, it is a gorgeous city. The cathedral in the twilight looks stunning, absolutely. And yes, the new subway line 3 was built underground of 16 de Septiembre. Jerome says, I loved visiting Guadalajara a couple of years ago and stayed near there. Absolutely. I mean, if I'm going to a concert in downtown Guadalajara or if I'm shopping for errands, this is where I like to stay. If I'm going to a concert in Zapopan, I might stay elsewhere. But look at those freaking tags. They even tagged the cathedral, which is horrible. But I decided to go in, and as I went in very quietly, the priest was literally saying, uh, "Will you take this ring?" And I'm like, "Oops, a wedding in process."
Marisa, recibe este anillo como signo de mi amor y de que siempre te seré
Whoop.
fiel. En el nombre del Padre y del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo.
May they have a happy life. Da, 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 da. This is a great walk. Must remind myself to watch it again before going to Guadalajara one day, says Linda. You know, what I love about downtown Guadalajara is that there's a lot to see, there's a lot to do, and it's all flat. Even if you went for a quick weekend trip to this general area, there are museums, there are concerts, um, there is shopping, there is history to be what there's architecture. So if you were to ask me where would I want to stay and what would I want to do for my first ever trip to Guadalajara, I would definitely recommend staying in this area and just going with the flow. So now we see to the right what is known as the the main plaza, right across the street from the Palacio de Gobierno, which is that building on the right hand side. Can I point to this? Yes, I can. There is the Palacio de Gobierno. This is where the government makes its decisions. And we're walking behind the cathedral, and we are heading to the Teatro Degollado, which is the home of the Jalisco Philharmonic. There are other events that go on there on a regular basis. And between the cathedral and the Teatro Degollado, or the Degollado Theater, is Liberation Plaza, or Plaza de la Liberación. We're about to enter it as we cross the street. And this is yet another plaza where there's always something going on or some special installation. As you can see, a number of streets in the downtown area are now closed to vehicular traffic, which makes it really fun to explore. And let's see what else we have in terms of comments. Did you ever visit the huge market in Guadalajara? Not on this trip, Jerome, but it is a place that I love to go to. Um, and yes, the tagging was crazy with those marchers. Did you go somewhere nice to eat? Nope. This was a budget trip, so I ate very budget. And now you can see it in the background. There is the Degollado Theater, and I just love this walk because at this point, I'm approaching my temple. I am approaching the time of the concert. The theater is beautifully lit. I can see some kind of geodesic dome on the left hand side, which was installed there. I don't know exactly why. I didn't stick around. And of course, I'm thinking of the music that I'm about to watch. There was Alborada del Gracioso by Ravel. There was the Violin Concerto. There was Pavan by Ravel. And there was the two suites from Daphnis and Chloe, which I was very much looking forward to seeing. As I get closer to the theater, I detect or identify what seems to be a wooden sculpture of a whale, and I confirmed that as I got closer to it. There was whale song coming out of speakers, a lovely surprise. And then I started noticing people posing for photographs and flash photography going on right on the other side of the whale sculpture. And I don't know if this was a graduation ceremony or what, but there were people dressed up for the occasion, and there was flash photography going on. It seemed like a private group, so I just kind of cut through it. And there is my temple. Ah, Teatro Degollado. Just my favorite place to be in Guadalajara. Big dress made me a little envious. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. There's another look at the whale sculpture and the cathedral in the background, and here we go. Look at the beautiful Teatro Degollado. It's still a little early. There's still like a half an hour to go, so people are just getting started to gather right outside of the theater. And this is my walk. It was very leisurely, and again, it took approximately 15 minutes to walk from one side, from my hotel to the concert hall. Again, in the middle of downtown Guadalajara, a great way to get started with the city. And now let's look at your comments. Any comments? Did I miss anything else that I wanted to show you today? No, I think we got it all. Yes. Let us take a quick look at the rest of your comments just to see what's going on in your minds. Look at my head. It's shiny. And it's because I'm schwitzing. Lots of good mornings. I appreciate those. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Oh, wonderful. Betsy had lunch at Trovasi Cafe yesterday. Fabulous. Join the friends of Trovasi. Thanks for the connection, Paco. It is my pleasure, Betsy. And of course, you know I love hearing these stories of connections being made through coffee and headlines. Lars says, suggestion to all the cluster, if you are hot, do a plunge in an ice bath. Of course, you would say that, Larsito. You do it twice a week and you're used to the shock. Actually, I'm going to do a walkthrough of the place where Lars goes for his ice baths, because it's a place full of wonderful energy that you might be interested in exploring at some point. Hashtag wellness. Cake for everyone, yes, but will there be as much cake on the Malecon as there was Pan de Muertos back in November? Oh, I have no idea. I never fall for these free food experiences. It's just not my cup of tea. But plus, I'm going to be out of town, so hopefully there will be enough cake for everyone. Let's see what else we have. Liz says, always walk on the shady side of the street. Absolutely. And keep water handy. Best wishes. Great suggestions, Liz. Thank you for that. And then I went without sound. My bad. And I already apologized. Boom, 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 boom. Of course, it is always my fault. If that was for me, guilty as charged. I get dizzy sometimes. Susan liked the new experience, the new expression. I'm glad you did. ¿Qué pedo con eso? Like, you can say that to me whenever I like mute the sound by mistake. You can certainly ¿qué pedo con eso? Let's see what else. Great segue. Lars, ice cream for breakfast. Yes, please. So that's a good alternative. Instead of an ice bath, I would take ice cream for breakfast. Boom, 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 boom. Then I'm looking again at your comments about the walk. I'm so glad to see that you enjoyed it. I'm going to mention something else about the lighting on the cathedral. A lot of times there are light shows and video mapping that goes on the cathedral. And the way they do it in Guadalajara is just absolutely beautiful. Many comments from the walk. Thank you very much. Um, I think I already acknowledged most of these. The red double decker tour bus can get boarded across the corner next to the north side of the cathedral. You know, that tour bus is something that I have never done, but I have friends that have done it, and it's yet another great way to get acquainted with Guadalajara for the first time. And I think we are. Oh, you were teasing Muffin. I was teasing Muffin about the sound being off, that it was his fault. Well, of course, it is my fault. And when it's not my fault, it is Muffin's fault. Sure, I'll drink to that. Too early for drinking. I think I'm done here. Yes, I think we're done with what I had set for today. Today, I'm going to be editing my other walk in Guadalajara, which was from the bus to the subway to this downtown area, what I did to get there. And I just want to show you how easy it is to do it once you learn to not be afraid of the subway, which it took me several years. And now I don't know all these years that I traveled to Guadalajara without actually going on the subway. It is so easy to get around, but we'll save that for tomorrow. Between today and tomorrow, stay kind, stay connected, stay supportive, and stay in touch. I'll see you again tomorrow morning.